Hello guys, today I'm going to be doing an unpopular K-pop opinions video. Before you get upset, I just want to say that there are as many people who agree with my opinions as disagree, so don't get upset if you don't agree with something that I say. And without further ado, let's begin. My first opinion is that some fans need to stop telling idols that they need to control their fandoms. I've seen this a lot, especially with popular groups like EXO and BTS, because sometimes their fans can be toxic and mean to each other. And honestly, it's just so annoying to me because it's not their job to control their fandom. They don't have control what their fans say or who's a fan of them. And second, their companies would never let them address something like that. I'm sure they probably want to personally, but if you really think that their companies would let them reach out and say something on those topics, it's just irrational. This next opinion should not be unpopular, but I'm going to say it anyways, and that's Hyuna should not be slut-shamed, and therefore any female idol who does something like a sexy concept. I really like Hyuna, and it's really refreshing to see a female idol who's so confident in herself. People also need to stop using her relationship with E'Dawn and Hui as an excuse to call her a slut, because it's just ridiculous. There's no reason to call her a slut for that. My next opinion is that Red Velvet is one of the best girl groups of the third generation because they're really diverse. Them as a group are really good in vocals, they're good in dance, and they have decent rap. And I find that a lot of girl groups have similar concepts with all of their songs. But Red Velvet, they can bring anything to the table. Their red concepts are really great, and their velvet concepts are really great too. They just make both of them fit, so I feel like that's a good reason why Red Velvet is getting all this attention that they deserve. Some boy groups are also like this, including SHINee. They can really just make any concept work. My fourth opinion is that Big Three privilege doesn't exist, but any group that comes from the Big Three, I think they automatically have an advantage. From the start, they receive attention before they even debut, whereas a group from a less known company has a lesser chance of getting more attention from their debut. My next opinion also really isn't unpopular, but it's that you're not a K-pop fan if you only stan one group. And it's totally fine if you only stan one group. It's okay if you only stan EXO or NCT, but don't call yourself a K-pop fan. You're only really a K-pop fan if you stan a lot of groups from K-pop, and then you can say that you're a fan of the K-pop genre. But if you only listen to one artist, then you're not really a fan of the whole entire K-pop community. You're just a fan of that one group, if that makes sense. My next opinion is that you don't have to be an anti of one group to express that you think another is better. This happens a lot, especially with popular groups, and it's totally okay if you prefer one group over another, but it's unfair to those artists if you bring them down because you're trying to express that another group is better. All K-pop groups are really successful and they work equally as hard, and it really just gives K-pop fans a bad reputation if you're trying to bring down other artists. This doesn't only go to other K-pop artists, but it's with Western artists too. My next opinion is that NCT's concept isn't hard, but there's no doubt that it is stupid. If you're a multi-fandom and you stand multiple groups and you're complaining that NCT's concept is too hard because there's too many members to learn, that just is really dumb. NCT is really talented. I love all of their music, and that's what made me get into them. And it wasn't hard for me to learn all the members. It took me like a couple days. NCT is really diverse, but I will say that SM needs to make up their minds about NCT because many people don't want to see their fave groups flop. Like NCT Dream, a lot of us really wish that SM would just go ahead and make them a fixed unit. It'd be really weird if they took Mark out of NCT Dream and then NCT had to perform their other NCT Dream songs without Mark in it. Like, can SM just figure this out? It's really making a lot of fans confused. My next opinion I cannot stress enough, and it's that K-pop fans need to stop ranting about the military. It's okay that you don't want your idols to go to the military, but many Koreans who have connections with international fans have said that it's a sensitive topic in Korea, and as much as you don't want your idols to have to go to the military, you have to face that it's literally the law. There's probably not going to be an exception in the nearby future for idols who have to go to the military. It's part of the law. Fans just really need to stop talking about it, especially if they're not educated on the topic. This next opinion is completely subjective depending on what kind of music you're into, but I think that BTS and SHINee have the best concepts. Even if you don't really like their music, their concepts are amazing, especially like Blood, Sweat, and Tears era or One of One era. Those concepts were some of my favorite. They were really unique and they were just fitting for the groups, and I think that those two groups are really good about taking a concept and sticking to it, especially BTS Love Yourself concept and their In the Mood for Love concepts. They were just really unique and I really liked them. And my last opinion is one of the most important to me, and it's that unstaining a group because they get unpopular is just really dumb. It's okay if you only like underrated groups, there's nothing wrong with that, but people want their faves to become successful, and unstaining them just because they get a lot of fans or because they gain international attention, I feel like there's no point in that, and it really kind of just sounds like you don't want your faves to become successful in a way. And that was it for my unpopular K-pop opinions. I will probably make a part 2 to this video, so stay tuned for that, and thank you for watching.